everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing the video that I promised last week. It is the video of my mom's top 10 frugal living tips. Now, just a quick backstory. My mom was a single mom of us 3 girls. I had no stepfather. She never remarried after my dad, and she was working only part-time a lot of times, so she worked in a job where she worked her way up, and at that point, because she had kids, they kind of put her down at the bottom, and it took her years. She's still at the same job, and she's finally worked her way to the semi-top, and as top as you can get without like a huge education or anything like that. And she went to night school with us, and she did all of this on her own. She didn't get any free child care from her parents or anything like that. It was all on her own, so she had to get a little bit creative, and I admire my mom for that, and she's worked really hard to be where she is. And anyway, that is the backstory of my mom, so without further ado, let's get started. So, the first thing that my mom did is she crocheted a lot. She crocheted, like, a lot, everything. So, I'm going to show you some examples. She did this for us too, but this is a really cute top that she made for my daughter. It's obviously for summer, but it's such a cute top, and my daughter loves it. Hopefully you can see that. And then this is like a shawl that she made for my daughter. Or it's like more like a sweater that you can wear over top your clothing. And then she also crocheted blankets for our Barbies. This is still from when I was a child, this blanket. This is a little Barbie dress that she made when I was younger still. Now my daughter gets to play with it. She even crocheted like doilies and stuff like that. And then this is actually new. She just made this for my daughter. This is a little tiny a shawl for the Barbie, and it's super cute. She got this fabric for free. Someone gave her a whole bag of different fabrics, and this is probably the most creative, I think, is that she used old pop bottles. This is a pop bottle cut up, and she stuffed it and crocheted over top. It's a little chair for Barbies. And then the same thing, she used, this is a milk carton, and she made it into a Barbie couch for us. And we have lots of, for all of our furniture was handmade. None of it was that plastic store-bought kind. And this is just pieces of scrap wood that were nailed together. And this was our Barbie table. And then, again, of course, she made these, crocheted these tiny little pillows. She also did lots of sewing as well, but mostly she did a lot of crocheting. And any, like, blankets, clothing, Barbie clothing, like I just showed you. Number 2, she always made plants from her plants. She would sell them, or she would use them as gifts, to save her money on gifts. She always makes her own decor. Well, I shouldn't say always, but like a lot of the time she makes her own decor from boxes, or for one example, she got a nut basket, and the basket had all those lines in it. So really, you can't use that for storing anything. So she flipped it on its side, and she put little pictures inside and little tiny souvenirs that were, you know, what else are you going to do with them? And she hung that on the wall. I wanted to take a picture of it, but I did not. Also, she takes her own photography, and she prints that, and she hangs that on her walls. And she uses them as cards. She uses them as coasters. Yeah, so she makes her own decor with her own makings, or just her own creativity. Number 4, she reused old diapers as dusting and cleaning cloths, and she still has them to this day. And I remember this still, when she was really not doing well, or really low on cash for the month, we ate a German thing called Spätzle, which is basically flour, water, and a little bit of salt, and you make a dough, and you boil it, and it's like a pierogi without the filling, and then you can fry it up. For dinner, she would serve it with hot dogs and sauerkraut, and then we also eat it as a dessert with some melted butter and cinnamon sugar, and it was delicious. Like, I personally didn't like it with the sauerkraut, but now that I'm older, I like sauerkraut more. Back then I didn't really like it. And that's what we ate as kids when there was no money. And we didn't know there was no money, we just ate it, right? So, number 6, as you saw, she used pop bottles as furniture. She used empty bottles to freeze her homemade juice from apples, cherries, all kinds of stuff. And then she also used the big bleach bottles, as she did the same thing that she did with the pop bottle, but she made it in like a big couch. I wish I could show you one, but that is still at her house, I think. So, but yeah, she did that with all kinds of bottles. She used, this is number 7, she used old cards and magazines and even our own drawings and pictures of her own photography. She used them to make her placemats for us. We all made our own placemat, and she used construction, just plain old construction paper with either the clear, I guess, what is it called? I don't know, clear tape, and then there's also that big clear, it's like for puzzles and stuff, but anyway, she would just tape that over to keep the water out, and she would also make coasters and give those away as gifts, and just for our own house, so that she didn't even have to buy any, and it was a fun craft to do with us as well. Number 8, she made her own quilts using old blankets and old t-shirts or souvenir shirts, or our favorite shirts. She made blankets with them or quilts with them, and with all of those old shirts that you really like but you don't know what to do with them, maybe they don't fit or they're torn and they're beyond repairable. Anyway, so she has a whole blanket with all of her souvenir t-shirts. She's making one for my daughter, and she really likes doing that, and I even have a blanket like that somewhere as well. Number 9, she freezed her berries or any kind of food or fruit that she got for free, and she had lots of it, but she didn't have the time or she didn't know what to do with it, so she froze them until she figured out what she was going to do with them. And then number 10, the very last, is a very frugal and sometimes even free entertainment, is puzzles, because people give puzzles away all the time because sometimes they're just too hard. And she would use them, she would do them up, and then she would use the same thing, that clear tape. She would tape them up, and she would hang them on the walls as pictures, or she would use them as centerpieces if they were the smaller ones. She used them as, even like in her house right now, in front of each little door, she has them as like little doormats. And yeah, so she uses puzzles as decor. Like I said, she makes her own decor. And yeah, that's all I have for her. She did add in there, she hates taking them apart and then having to redo them. So that's why she started doing the taping together, the puzzles. So I hope you enjoyed this video. All these tips were given to me from my mother, and I yeah, that's all I have to say about that. I love my mom, and I really enjoyed picking her brain for this video, and I hope you enjoyed listening. And that's all I'm going to share with today. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye!